Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive edition of entertainment news where the world of celebrity drama just hit a fever pitch. Imagine the bustling studios of NBC's Today Show, the iconic morning program that millions tune into for their daily dose of inspiration, lighthearted banter, and celebrity chit-chat. Today, however, the atmosphere was anything but light-hearted. Comedian extraordinaire Kevin Hart, known for his rapid-fire humor, infectious energy, and unapologetic take on life, was the star guest on the segment Today with Jenna and Friends. Hosted by the ever-charming Jenna Hager, alongside a rotating cast of celebrity pals who bring their unique flair to the table, this show segment is usually a haven for feel-good stories and playful roasts. But on this fateful September morning in 2025, what started as a promising interview spiraled into a fiery controversy that left jaws on the floor and social media ablaze. Kevin Hart, fresh off promoting his latest Netflix special that's already breaking records for viewership, stepped onto the set with his signature swagger, cracking jokes about everything from his height to his endless hustle in Hollywood. The audience, a lively mix of fans waving signs and cheering enthusiastically, was buzzing with anticipation. Jenna, dressed in a vibrant yellow blouse that matched her sunny disposition, greeted him with open arms, gushing over how his new special had her and her family in stitches late into the night. As the interview progressed, the chemistry between Kevin Hart and the hosts was palpable, a testament to his charisma that has made him a household name since his breakthrough on Real Husbands of Hollywood over a decade ago. Jenna, leaning forward with genuine curiosity, shifted the topic to Kevin's views on modern comedy, asking how he's navigating the minefield of cancel culture in an era where every punchline is scrutinized under a microscope. This was no idle question. Kevin has been vocal in the past about the pressures on comedians to self-censor, drawing from his own infamous 2019 Oscars controversy where old tweets resurfaced, forcing him to step down as host amid backlash from the LGBTQ community. He had apologized then, but the scars lingered, shaping his public persona into one that's equal parts defiant and diplomatic. With a sly grin, Kevin launched into a passionate monologue, arguing that comedy should punch up, not down, but that the line between edgy and offensive has blurred into absurdity. "Look, I've grown, I've learned," he said, his voice rising with conviction, "but if we keep tiptoeing around every word, we'll end up with mimes running the industry." The audience chuckled nervously, sensing the edge in his tone. Regina, ever the poised counterpart, nodded along but interjected with a light-hearted story from their film sets, where Kevin's ad-libs once saved a floundering scene but also nearly got them both in hot water with the director for veering too close to sensitive topics. The tension escalated like a summer storm rolling in from a horizon, dark clouds gathering over the brightly lit set of Today with Jenna and Friends. Kevin Hart, whose net worth now eclipses $450 million from venture-spanning movies, endorsements with brands like Nike and Gran Coramino Tequila, and his Heartbeat Productions empire, wasn't one to back down from a challenge. But this felt personal, a dredging up of past wounds dressed as progressive inquiry. As the influencer elaborated on her points, pulling up mental receipts from Kevin's past routines, references to his stand-up bits from the early 2000s that played on stereotypes for shock value, his frustration boiled over. "Y'all want apologies for jokes from when I was 22? Come on, that's not growth, that's gotcha journalism," he shot back, his Philly accent thickening with emotion. The studio lights seemed to intensify, casting stark shadows on faces frozen in varying degrees of shock and sympathy. Jenna Hager, caught between her role as host and the spontaneity of the format, tried to pivot with humor, quipping, "Kevin, if we apologized for every bad hair day from our 20s, we'd never leave the house." But the laugh track felt forced, the applause sparse. Regina, sensing the shift, chimed in supportively, recounting how Kevin had mentored young black comedians through his initiatives, emphasizing his off-screen allyship that often goes unsung. Yet, the panelist remained unrelenting, her voice steady as she highlighted statistics on representation in comedy. Only 12% of late-night slots going to diverse voices last year, per industry reports, and challenged Kevin on why his special skewed toward mainstream appeal over boundary-pushing inclusion. It was a valid point, one that resonated with younger viewers glued to their screens at home, but to Kevin, it smacked of performative activism, a trap laid in the guise of dialogue. And then the eruption, the moment that would define not just the interview but Kevin Hart's unyielding spirit in the face of adversity. With the panelists' latest volley landing like a gut punch, it's easy to say you've changed when your jokes still echo the same old tropes. Kevin's eyes flashed with that trademark fire, the one that propelled him from open mics to Oscar nods. He leaned into the microphone, his voice a thunderclap. "Listen, I respect the conversation, but this ain't it. Y'all turning my growth into a gotcha game, and I'm not here for the ambush. Comedy's subjective, life's complex, deal with it. The words hung in the air, sharp as a switchblade, slicing through the polite veneer of daytime TV. Gasps rippled from the audience, a collective intake of breath that sucked the oxygen from the room. Jenna, her composure cracking like fine porcelain, stammered, "Whoa Kevin, we love you, let's take a breath." But it was too late, the dam had burst. Kevin pushed back from the table, his chair scraping against the polished floor like nails on a chalkboard, the sound amplified for all to hear. "Nah, I'm good. Appreciate the platform, Jenna, but this feels like a setup, not a sit-down. Peace." With that, he stormed off the set, his diminutive frame moving with purposeful strides past the cheering crowd, some cheering in support, others in stunned silence, toward the wings where his team waited with wide eyes and clipboards at the ready. The camera lingered on his retreating back, the iconic heartbeat logo on his jacket a poignant emblem of his empire, now under siege once more. The immediate aftermath of Kevin Hart's dramatic departure from the Today Show set was a whirlwind of raw emotion, frantic damage control, and the relentless churn of the 24-hour news cycle. As the commercial break ended, Jenna Hager reappeared on screen, her smile a touch more strained, flanked by Regina who squeezed her hand reassuringly. "Well folks, that was certainly intense," Jenna began, her Texas twang softening the edges. "But that's what makes these conversations real. Kevin Hart is a legend, and we wish him all the best." The audience clapped politely, but the energy had deflated like a punctured balloon, the once vibrant set now feeling like a crime scene dusted for prints. Off-air, producers huddled with NBC brass, debating whether to edit the footage for rebroadcast or let it stand as a testament to unfiltered TV. Meanwhile, Kevin Hart retreated to his trailer, the door slamming with finality, where his publicist and manager bombarded him with updates. Twitter, now X, was on fire, with hashtag #HartWalkout amassing over 500,000 mentions in under 30 minutes. Supporters rallied, sharing clips of his apologetic 2019 sit-down with Ellen DeGeneres, where he vowed personal growth, arguing this was overreach by woke warriors. One viral tweet from a comedian peer read, "Kevin built the lane, now they're trying to ticket it. Let the man laugh." Detractors, however, amplified the panelists' points, launching petitions for better vetting of comedy guests and op-eds in the New York Times questioning if Hart's evolution was performative. His phone vibrated non-stop, texts from Barack Obama praising his candor, calls from agents fielding interview requests, and a voice memo from his wife Aniko, "Babe, breathe." In the days following Kevin Hart's fiery exit from Today with Jenna and Friends, the controversy morphed from breaking news to a full-blown cultural phenomenon, sparking debates that echoed far beyond the glitter of Hollywood into classrooms, dinner tables, and congressional hearings on media responsibility. Kevin, retreating to his Calabasas estate for a strategic cool-down, channeled the energy into creativity, announcing a surprise podcast episode on his Light On series where he unpacked the incident with guests like D.L. Hughley and Wanda Sykes, both veterans of comedy's cancel wars. "It hurt, real talk," he admitted, voice cracking slightly, "but pain's the price of progress. I own my past. Question is, do we all?" The episode shattered download records, underscoring his pull as a truth-teller who turns lemons into laughter-infused lemonade. Jenna Hager, meanwhile, leaned into the moment with grace, dedicating her next book club pick to memoirs on forgiveness, subtly nodding to the saga while inviting Kevin back for a follow-up, an olive branch extended publicly on air, met with audience cheers. Regina became an unlikely mediator, hosting a virtual panel with diverse voices to dissect the exchange, emphasizing unity over division and crediting Kevin's influence on her career. Social media evolved too, memes proliferated, from photoshopped Hart storming off Mount Rushmore to remixes of his Walkout synced to dramatic movie scores, blending ridicule with reverence. Brands distanced subtly. Under Armour paused a campaign ad, but loyalists like Sprint doubled down with renewal announcements. Broader impact surfaced. Comedy schools updated curricula on ethical punchlines, and GLAAD issued a nuanced statement praising Hart's growth while urging ongoing allyship.